Well, hello out there. This is Green Guy again. Gonna go through some of the plays of the day here in my video. If some of you've noticed, maybe I changed the handle I go by from Green Guy to Green Guy Finance. I think it makes myself a little bit more professional, just like an ounce more. So not totally comic booky anymore. I don't know. I don't think it'll make a bit of a difference. It was just something I wanted to do. Looking at the plays of the day here, I played Tesla and Netflix. Early here before market opened, I basically gave those the upsiders and downsiders. TKMR, Ebola play, got downgraded. That was a pretty simple short. That was pretty much all there was to it. It'd been hyped so much. I didn't see any bad. Triple D sector not performing well. Although it did get a surprising bump in the morning. First couple minutes of trading there, mostly I think from the HP company split up. People were thinking maybe at one point HP was going to buy them out. That was the rumor, and I think that's why I got a little bit of a look. Zillow, that's just a broken chart from Primera. So I'm going to go through those and some of the charts that I think are interesting going into tomorrow. There are a couple nice setups, I think. And the macro is actually set up very nice for tomorrow, too. So we're going to go through that all. And as always, I'll mention it now. If you guys have any charts you want me to go through, just send them my way throughout the day on StockTwits or Twitter. I check that stuff very regularly. And we'll go from there. Oh, another highlight. Someone called me a slacker. So, wrong move 79. Thank you for that. I was a little late getting the video out tonight. I had roasted lamb. And God, I love lamb so much, but it will suck some of the energy out of you and just make you want to watch football. And every time I watch football, it's hard to get out of it, isn't it? And I'm still amazed when I watch football about how cheerleaders make minimum wage. That's just mind-blowing to me. But anyways, going to the macro view here. As always, let's start out there. So you got to go through a little bit of the backstory. We're just going to start with the Friday trend break. So on Friday, last week, we finally broke that down sliding trend we'd said all week. We're going to end up in the low 190s, which is exactly what we did on the S&P 500 index. It bottomed out here at the 192.35-ish area and did pretty well out of that, escalated right out. Hit our mark and went right up to today, where it opened pretty much right at the 50-day moving average. Always look at the news, is what I say, but don't put your positions on based solely on the news. One of the best things I ever did for my trading was not to watch Bloomberg TV or Bloomberg Radio or CNBC. I just cut out all that because it's garbage what they put out. In general, it's just total garbage. My main premise, as most of you know, is the market is a setup. It's there to screw people out of money. So you have to think like the institution, otherwise you're not going to make much. So today, my whole thought was we're opening right at the 50-day moving average. We just broke this trend. I don't feel a huge bullish day coming on. Morning-wise, the stories weren't bullish in general, what I was seeing. So my call today was we were going to test that pre-market level that was defined as a 197 level, 197.07, and from there I would have a play picked out. But that's as much as I know, honestly, but that's all you need in a general day. If you have a put on and you write it down to that level and it goes further, you're making more money. If it doesn't, then you still make a little bit of money, just not as much. But that's how you make money, is sure bets, and you can do that with options pretty easily, especially on the S&P 500 index. It's so liquid. It's just like buying stock. You don't have to do a limit order. You just buy in, buy out. It's market orders work perfectly. So that was basically the summation of my mentality today leading in the market. It was going to have all these bulls looking for another huge up day, and I did not see that happening, based on the pre-market action and just the way the market always seems to operate. So pretty much that simple. Let's go to the Russell, because the Russell is, of course, still as nasty as it has been. It broke through that S1 trend line there, and went lower. Russell is definitely the guy that is eating everybody alive, just in terms of it's leading. It is leading the show right now, and people are saying, well, how much longer can this persist? It has not shown itself to be healthy in any way, shape, or form, I would say. You can have little balances like every other index, but it is definitely the one to watch here. It's a little scary. So Qs, just to give you a comparison chart there, went through the pivot, and that was about it. So Qs were actually pretty healthy today. Dow maintained itself very well. S&P 500 on the intraday, of course, we said it would test that level, that 197.07. Did that there about 45 minutes in. Took a little longer than I thought. I thought we wouldn't have the sideways chop initially. But, you know, if you look at going back, the sort of pattern that we've been having, you know, anytime you have these breakouts, it is sort of a little bit of a V rally. You get a flat day, you know. So I was expecting not a whole lot of price action today, but flat did not foresee. So it tested down to that 197 level, right about there, yeah, about 45 minutes in. And at that point, you had to reassess your position. So for what I did, pretty clear and cut. I just said, look, I don't know where it's going to go, but it doesn't look like it's going to go too much lower after hitting that level. So I just sold out. So I didn't participate in the rest of the day with a macro. That was my morning position to basically hedge my Momo positions. Pretty simple. So if nuclear bombs fall out of the sky, I don't lose everything I have. And that was about it. So let's go through the RSX. We made a call on the RSX last week that it looked pretty bottomed. And look at that. Hopefully some of you took my advice. The RSX is bounding a little bit there. Hopefully it can maintain itself. You know, Russia's economy is not fantastic after the sanctions. A ton of stories out about how they are just getting hammered economically. But honestly, it's hard to think of a country other than us and China that is doing well at this moment. Eyes are on Brazil for that election. You have the Japan is just going to pieces, and the strong U.S. dollar, which is normally a plus. People are saying the U.S. dollar could just eat other economies alive, and I can see that. So we're still the bright shining light of the world in terms of investments. U.S. oil, we've been keeping an eye on that. It's still going pretty sideways and down, isn't it? Going back here on the chart, it looks like if it just maintained back to its January-ish level, we're almost there. But, you know, it can go quite a bit lower. If you go back to May of last year, it went down to the 30s, and we're still at the 34s. So oil, like I said, I don't usually play the commodities, but they are good to keep an eye on. Gold had a little bit of a rebound here today, but still keeps having these nasty days. Same thing, gold looks almost like it's bottomed. So I'd keep an eye on those commodities. Let's go to the stocks of the day. Where do I want to start? I want to start with GTAT. You know, I didn't have it there in the spot. So this was crazy. If you guys didn't catch this was like a train wreck. It's one of those things that you pass by and you want to cover your eyes and you're listening to the feed. It was shocking. This trended on StockTwits for a while, and then there was nothing. You could just feel like it's like a Star Wars quote where you know, all of a sudden a million voices cried out in fear and then were silenced. It was that sort of feeling where, God, what do you say? If you lose 90% of your account on a company that was making parts for Apple, that's tragic. I don't know another way to say it. It's just tragic. How do you see these things coming? The only thing I could think of for people to learn off of this is if you ever have an analyst say, this company is probably going to have to file for bankruptcy, which happened in September on GTAT, get the hell out. You know, I think that's as simple as that. Some people are saying, look at the insider selling trends. I don't usually go by that garbage. If you have market that's high, insider selling is what is the norm. It should be. It's a high market. If there was insider buying, that is much more indicative, in my mind, than the opposite. If your stock price is high and you're buying, I will give you a much more serious look. But selling alone, it's so commonplace. Some companies, their whole entire executive payroll is based on stock options. I mean, you've heard about the CEO makes $1. Well, how does he make his money? He makes his money off of his benefits. and you can do that off options. They get paid in options. So you can't always look at the insider selling. Going to the plays that I had today, Tesla. Again, whenever you do these sorts of setups, go through the macro, get an idea of what the macro is going to do, and then look at the chart and get an idea of what the chart's going to do. And this was a simple play without a whole lot of immediate news today. I mean, there was a little bit of buzz, but this was basically Elon Musk touting his new line of cars that he's releasing and the buzz around that. And apparently Thursday they're unveiling their driverless car. So it's got buzz. Anytime you have that with a stock, and a chart had a breakout with a downward triangle, and it's got some movement to rebound just based on the macro picture. We're only in the 196s, so people are going to feel a little bit more confident that we're not sliding down. People put money back into it. That's why I was looking at Tesla. It's a simple chart. What is the chart going to allow you to do type of position? Same thing with Netflix. Netflix here, going back, had nice rebounding action, and then today the chart looked like it could bounce off. It's at the lower part of that channel, and that's pretty much all it was. On days when you don't have a clear, easy position, sometimes it's just simple little things like that. That'll make you money. And that's pretty much the two positions that I was playing this morning. And that was as much reasoning as went into it. And then hedge always. I hedged with the SPY. Very simple. That's it. So that's how I picked those stocks. That's how I played those stocks. It was pretty right off the bat. As soon as I saw the SPY intraday here in the morning, this is the intraday chart, was stabilized, I just did my entry. It was just that simple. With Momo stocks, a lot of the money will go in the first 7 minutes, so you can't dilly-dally all damn day. You have to do it pretty quick. You have to decide and pull the trigger or not. So you can't wait like a half an hour and say it's stable. Usually the mornings are the places for Momo stocks. I wanted to go through other things to look up to coming up this week. GoPro's chart. It looks like it gets some double top action. GoPro, what do we say? Do not short GoPro. We went through last week what an anointed stock was. Do not short GoPro. This thing could go until the end of the year. I don't see reason for it not to, honestly. The story's right. And it's still getting a ton of buzz. How many GoPro videos do you see posted daily? That's enough. That's really all it takes. You don't evaluate this one based on their revenues or any garbage like that. It's simpler. So I would look for GoPro to continue up with some sideways action here and there and some minor retracing, but up until December. Google. This is a chart I was looking at today. Google. That is just a beautiful looking chart. It had that upward triangle that broke out here in August. See that? And then it went lower, and then it's been oscillating. And now it's got this nice sort of pattern established for Google, which makes it something that we can now predictably play. I like this now just based on the chart. Again, could go up to the 600s pretty easily. I would keep an eye on Google for any news, upgrades, downgrades, and etc. Facebook, similar type deal. It's got a very, 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 very long trend line on Facebook. This is January for those of you that are curious on the chart. So it's got a pattern that's going back to, where's that line? That line actually touches in July. But it looks like the channel was in play there for quite a while, going back until May. So Facebook looks like it's in the bottom of the channel. I'd look for a buying opportunity there if it arises. Priceline, very interesting. Looks like it might have bottomed. Like we said last week, look for a bottom in Priceline. This could be a very interesting bullish call if any of you are interested in that. A little bit of time left. Ford, not behaving well. This purple line at the bottom that I'm highlighting right there is the 9-month double bottom in that. GM's actually behaving pretty well. But Ford, a little ugly in comparison. So those are the things I'm looking at. So again, if you guys have any stocks you want me to look at, not a problem. I don't mind doing that. And I'm going to start doing some morning videos here. So keep an eye out for those if you guys like what I'm putting out. All right, luck to you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go through a little bit more here and then probably watch some Hannibal and pass out from Lamb. Take care.